The term professional victim is often used to describe someone who habitually portrays themselves as a victim, even when they are not, in order to gain sympathy, attention, or some other benefit. I was going to write about Meghan Markle in my Medium blog. I already have a blog that I wrote about her. The blog is titled Meghan Markle is Living in the Hood, Victimhood. And I will leave a link to that in the show notes. I wrote that a while back. But then instead of me writing another Medium blog, I just decided to just do a podcast instead. I have already done one about she and Amber Heard, but Amber Heard has done a good job of fading out of the limelight. Just wherever she's living, somewhere in the world, she has not bothered us since the trial. At first, we thought that she was going to be a nuisance, and then I think somebody said, yeah, just go away. So that's what she's done. But we can't get that luxury with Meghan Markle. So we're going to talk about what it is to be a professional victim and all about the craziness of Meghan Markle. Why? Yes. Why? Because why not? There are too many people thinking that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are noble, that they decided to air their grievances out to the world. Yes, Oprah, Netflix, his book Spare. As if that's some kind of act of honor, of which we know that it's not. One-sided story of a bad pity party is what we got. But there's like the really new kind of, I guess, 2023, someone who grows up to play the role of victim. How sad is that? But before I get into this podcast, I want to get a word in from our sponsor.
Coming soon to these retailers: Amazon, Apple Books, Barnes & Noble, Google Play Books, and Kobo is the newest release by Michelle Carey, Something Borrowed. Upon meeting Lucky, Mickey Monroe immediately sensed a unique quality about him. He exuded confidence, with perhaps a touch of cockiness, yet he also displayed a genuinely caring and sweet nature. Mickey felt crushed and shattered upon discovering that Lucky was romantically involved with her colleague, Laura. However, with the introduction of Beth into the equation, Mickey soon realized that she was not the only one vying for Lucky's attention. Something Borrowed, a suspenseful romance that will have you on the edge of your seat as the mystery of Luke Lucky Varino is uncovered. Find out more at www.michellescarey.com. This ad is sponsored by Sunray Multimedia.
Okay, so let's start this. Words matter. Words and actions are the two of the most important tools as humans that we have. It is how we communicate. And these tools, words and actions, they can inspire, they can motivate, to just bring about change, right? On the flip side of any coin, they can also be used to harm and be destructive. And it is important to recognize the impact of words and actions have to yourself, to others, and to society at large. And so professional victims, they may use their supposed victimhood as a way to manipulate others to avoid taking responsibility for their words and actions. They also may use it as a way to justify their behaviors or to avoid criticism or consequences. And we have seen that time and time again with the likes of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Because taking responsibility for your words and actions is an important aspect of personal growth and accountability. And this is probably the main reasons why I don't care for them and why many others don't care for them, because they refuse to take responsibility for their words and actions. Because why? Words and actions matter, right? I've just never seen two people that live, soak, bathe in hypocrisy. They say one thing, but their actions show something totally different. I'll give one example straight off the bat. Why would you name your daughter the nickname of the woman that you think is racist? Like, what? But then you turn around now and take a title for this same child, and you don't really like these people, but yet you want to have some type of link to them in some way. And I don't understand why. So you could continue to complain about these people? Or why are you using a British title on projects in the United States, of all places, of where we do not have royalty? As if it was all so bad in the United Kingdom, as if the UK was like this horrible, horrible place, when it's not. Why would she want her kids to have titles? And Prince Harry too, because he said that he wouldn't want his kids to live the way that he was brought up as a prince. But now you give your kids titles of prince or princess. In America, no doubt, as if that means anything. Only to turn around and just had said previously, oh, we don't want our kids to have titles. We want them to be private citizens. But like, really, make up your all's mind, because the gaslighting of it all is stupid. That shit isn't working on anyone. No one at all. And well, let's just talk about Prince Harry. To me, he's stuck at 12 years old. Oh my God. I have never seen somebody who is, I've seen people that could be stuck in like their 20s because they're still, it's like they're in their 40s and they're still going to the club or just drinking excessive amounts of alcohol or just partying, that kind of thing. But I've never seen anybody who's actually stuck at a minor's age and just hates everything about his family because he blames them for his mother's death. Not the reality of it all, that she got in a car with a drunk driver and did not put her seatbelt on. And he fails to realize that Diana was not perfect, that she had her flaws, she had her faults, and she did her dirt too, like having affairs. She's still a high regarded figure, but she's human like everybody else. And unfortunately, Charles did not love her like she wanted to be loved. And this happens, guess what? In thousands of relationships and marriages where you have people who were in love, not in love, had affairs on one another, still together, were never in love, married for convenience, feeling stuck. What? Just because you are part of the British royal family does not absolve you from being a human being. Like, you are still human. But in the end, Diana chose not to accept the security when they divorced. It was offered, but she decided no. And with her paranoia, I just don't think that she was able to make sound decisions. There were a lot of things that could have went one way that it just didn't, based on those decisions. And like I said, she chose not to wear her seatbelt while getting into a car with a drunk driver. That is that. And just like with anything else, there were a lot of decisions that were made that could have been better, but this is the path. And just like the decision that Harry and Meghan made to leave the royal family to go make money independently, but still, in their eyes of making money independently had nothing to do with talent. It had nothing to do with sure talent, like writing real books, okay? Not that bench and that spare shit, but writing real books. Putting the work in, putting the hard work in, not just wanting to be handed stuff because you have this title. But they need to stop playing the victim, right? And monetizing their pain to Netflix or writing it out for the public to read and spare, and then turn around and then do a therapy session for all to see. Because to me, therapy is a private matter. It is not meant to be broadcasted to the entire world. But it just goes to show people how he doesn't have any talent or skills. She doesn't have any talent or skills. They do not have any talent or skills. But they try to justify what it is they're doing through this victim narrative. And they want to monetize trauma and pain. Who does that? Who wants to monetize their trauma and pain? And if you think about it, it is a sad life. But it's no different than anybody else who goes up on some social media and plays victim porn. Oh my God. Instead of trying to like work through it, you're just seeking the attention and the sympathy for something bad that's happened to you. And that's cheesy. Tell you the truth, that's outright cheesy. And I don't know if it's a generational thing. In my generation, we don't do that kind of shit. And if somebody I know does, I don't know, I don't know. I just know I don't do it. You know what I mean? I don't do it. And if you look at what therapy is really about, the objective of therapy is to help individuals improve their mental health and well-being by addressing certain types of emotional, behavioral, and psychological issues. Because these types of issues, they cause distress or impairment in your daily life. That is not meant to be monetized by any stretch of the imagination, because at that point in time, you are doing nothing more than selling your soul. That is it. You are selling your soul. Because there are specific goals of therapy that are supposed to help you, your individual needs, and they involve increasing your self-awareness, developing coping skills, improving your relationships, and finding more effective ways to manage your emotions and your behaviors. Not to sit up there and cry about it in front of millions of people and whinge and whine about the things that you think that have been done to you. And shit probably hasn't really even been done to you. You're just making mountains out of molehills. Therapy is the aim of it is to empower you as the individual to make positive changes in your life and achieve greater personal growth and fulfillment. But if you are monetizing that shit, how are you empowering yourself? How are you making positive changes? Because if you're getting money for it, you're just going to keep going and going and going and going with this dumb shit, like over and over and over again. So explain to me how having a therapy session for the public consumption is actually helping Prince Harry to effectively manage his emotions and behaviors. It's fucking not. It's not. It's not doing shit, to tell you the truth. Because all I've learned from the writings and the video clippings of what he did with Dr. Mate was to push illegal drugs. What? Like, we're not doing that. Because as a person who was diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder, GAD, and who is in therapy, I can damn sure say that any kind of mind-altering drugs or medications, in my opinion, should not be taken lightly. Like, what? I'm like, you just don't push that stuff out there just to be pushing it. Because you say it makes you feel good. No, it numbs you. Because once you come down from that, you still got to deal with the shit that's still there. That's why you become a drug. That's how people become drug addicts, because they numb themselves, or alcoholics. They numb themselves to the problems that they're having, thinking that those problems will go away. But what happens is that when you're not drunk and you're not high, shit is still there waiting for you to deal with. That's what I know. And look, our bodies are natural. And I believe we need to maintain our natural state as close as possible. It is hard, but you have to deal with the pain, the suffering, the unknowingness, the anxiety. You have to work through it to come to the other side to be a better person. That is how it works. That's how it works. But anyway, the point is about their little victim narrative is that they seem to be tall people trying to play grown up, but are stuck on this high school get back, it's like get back time to anyone who doesn't agree with their out of reality narrative. That's the basic bottom line. She's what, 41? She's about 10 years younger than me. And he's what, 38, 39 or something in there. But they are full grown tall people. And I call them tall people because they're taller than children, right? But they act like children. They're full blown tall people, not really adults, in my opinion, trying to act, like they're these young teenager, young 20 something innocents, like they don't know any better. And we all know that that's a damn lie. Okay? It's a lie. They're nothing but two multimillionaires obsessing over how they didn't get their way. When we have people out there who have what we see from the outside, we think they have it all. Like they have it all together. They're smiling, they're laughing, they're dancing. And then we find out they committed suicide, that they killed themselves. And you're like, what? How is that possible? Because from our perspective, we don't see the pain that people are going through. Or how many people are out there dying of cancer daily, etc. There are more important things in the world than them two fucking ass crybabies. First on Oprah, they weren't going to give Archie a title. They weren't going to give him a title because they wanted to know how brown he was, like Chris Rock said. Even black people wanted to know. That's not racist. That's some other bullshit that you living on. Girl, please. And then to sit up there and whine again on Netflix, right? Like, oh, I was being fed. I wasn't just being thrown to the wolves. I was being fed to the wolves. Girl, you was feeding them. What are you talking about with your pap strolls? Like, stop it. And then to back up their little crybaby stance in a book, Spare, now known as Wah, thank you, South Park, about how they thought that the royal family treated them when they are treating themselves this way. The royal family's not even saying anything, but yet and still you think they're treating you a certain way? They're just ignoring you, right? You're two malcontents. They are two malcontents. They could be living their best life, but instead they're two attention-seeking whores with no talent, knowledge, skills, or abilities, but playing and being a professional victim. That is what they're known for, and that is what they are. And there are two sides to every story. And there is probably more to the other side than it is their side. But what it sounds like to me is a bunch of miscommunication and unfounded inferences. Just because they think this stuff is happening to them doesn't mean it did happen. That's a bunch of crap. One thing I know is that the hardest thing for people to do is rise above drama. That's what I know. Parents tell their children all the time, oh, rise above, take the high road when negativity comes your way. You know how hard that is? It is, because it's hard not to dignify or engage in drama, especially when you're trying to clear your name. It really, really is. And with that, I got to give a high five to the royal family for not even acknowledging their tomfoolery of what is Meghan Markle and the wayward son, Prince Harry. Like, they get they getting shade. Like, it is chilly. It is so dark and shady over there, the way that they're treating them in terms of not addressing their stupid ass criticisms, because they really shouldn't have any. I mean, it's superficial, tell you the truth. It would just be too much like right and too much hard work for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle to own up to their mistakes and lack of accountability. They'd rather sit and wallow in the victimhood narrative because for some odd reason they think it's garnering them support, but in actuality it's killing their brand. And we're all here for it, to tell you the truth. We cannot wait to get rid of them. Remember when we couldn't wait to get rid of Paris Hilton? Remember when we couldn't wait to get rid of the Kardashians? Like, slowly but surely, like, Paris faded out. The Kardashians are slowly fading out. Maybe now is their time. They're fading out. But this, too, will fade out. I already see the writing on the wall. So here's the message to the people in the back. The people who want to do better, and they just do better and be better. Don't mimic the ways of those two fucking jackals, because they're stupid. Yes, they have money, but at what cost? You could live a really productive and happy life. Could you live a happy, productive life with knowing that no one can trust you, or that when you die, you will have the whispers of being a known liar, that your obituary will be filled with times that you played the victim and lied to people? I wonder what that would be like. Well, I won't know because I'm not that. So, but think about that. So to avoid becoming a professional victim, it is important to take responsibility for your life and your actions. Focus on solutions, not problems. Take ownership of your life. Stop thinking it's always something that's being done to you. It's not. Trust me, it's not. Practice self-reflection. Take time to reflect on your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. Be honest with yourself about the motivations and behaviors and look for ways to improve. And lastly, one of the most important aspects of it all is cultivate gratitude. Yes. Because when you develop a sense of gratitude for the good things in your life and focusing on the positive, that shifts your mindset from victimhood to empowerment in one blink of an eye. Those folks don't ever seem like they are grateful for shit. And I mean, that's one thing I do not see from them, that they're just never grateful. They are never fucking grateful. They complain and they whine about everything without seeing how fortunate they are. And the way I see it, it's time we rise up above them fools, lead them in the poor me ditch, and just move on. And that's where I am with that. But thank you for listening to this most interesting thought and ramble. I know I said, I hope you found my rant a little funny, but also true. And I am grateful for your listenership and being a part of the Thoughts and Rambles crew. Today and always, until next time, be well, stay safe, and give love.
This podcast has been produced by Sunray Multimedia and Michelle Carey. Music by CreatorMix.com. The YouTube audio library and editing by Descript.